everyone to the weekend win call.
Yay! Well.
So in the virtual world, when you're super excited about something, you're supposed to clap or snap or do something like that. So, or you could do like a raise the roof. All I know is just give me a little whoop whoop if you're excited to be here. You can put it in the chat. You can. Audrey, I love you. You're so awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Jessica, good to see you. Good to see all of you. I have my amazing co-host, Dawn Purnell. Whoop, whoop. So you guys, we are so excited to talk to you tonight about something mysterious, something that I think escapes a lot of us when we're pursuing weight loss. It's a big buzzword. I know me personally, I just thought macros pertained to like super fit, muscle bound people. I thought they were macro folks. I didn't think I was one. I thought it was specific to I thought a lot of things. How about that? So we're going to break that down for you tonight in the simplest form that we know how. All right. So for those of you that don't know me, hello, my name is Miss Monica. I've been in this community going on 7 years. When I came to this program, I was on pursuit of losing weight. And you guys, I was eating a ton of salads, like all organic greens, lots of avocado, lots of olives, lots of bell peppers. I was packing my stuff. I was not eating out. I had removed all cheese. I had done the most, and still my weight was stuck. And so I remember just being super frustrated, thinking that my body was broken. I thought somewhere in there in my decades of obesity that I had ruined my metabolism, and that somewhere in there, like, I just used to cry, like my body was not going to lose weight. But there was a piece of the puzzle that I was missing, and it was the quote unquote macros. So we are going to dive into that. And so I just want Dawn, my amazing co-host, to introduce herself just really quick, because she's had a weight loss, transformation. And then we're going to start with the basics for you about what macros actually are.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to see two of my people on here. Hi, Miss Kelsey. Hi, Miss Regina. Okay, so I am Dawn. I have actually, I think this week marks my 1-year anniversary as a health coach, and about 14 months with Optavia. And I was fortunate to lose 62 pounds on program in 6 months. And definitely it has been a journey for me. And I think the topic that we're talking about is critical, and understanding macros versus micros and how the program breaks it down. A lot of that didn't make sense to me when I first started, but definitely now that I've been here a while, I understand it not just on the application side, but also on the practitioner side. It makes a whole lot of sense. So I think, am I starting, Monica, or am I turning it back over to you?
Yeah, let me just go ahead and give you the definition. Let me give you the definition, and then I'm going to hand it right back to you, because you always give us such great wisdom. So friends,
thank you, Monica.
I love you. So guys, how many of you feel like this graphic when it comes to macros? It's like this physics, rocket science, math problem that if I take a look at it, I don't even want to try and figure it out. I have that look on my face. I'm confused, angry, pissed off, a lot of things when I'm trying to decode this, right? The macros of it all. So we are going to give you some really clear-cut definitions, like I mentioned, but we wanted to start with the definition of macro, period, because macro just means large. Macro just means large. Micro just means small. Macro is on the big end, micro is on the small end. That is all you need to know about macro. Macro is big, micro is small. But how does that then pertain to your health? Okay. So when you think about macros and the big of it, the first part that Dawn is going to explain is the macros of your health. So what this means is in Optavia and in health, if you're not a part of this program, fine, but we all must be in agreement that your health is much more than what you eat. It also includes your motion. Are you moving? How healthy is your mind? So like, how do you handle stress? Are you drinking water? And what do the surroundings look like? What are surroundings when it pertains to your health? That's super important. So that's the macro. Those are the big picture. So I'll let Dawn break this down for us in the macro aspects of health, please.
Absolutely. So I want everyone to picture a jar, and I have placed 6 huge rocks in that jar. Our founder, Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson, an acute care physician, identified these sort of 6 major pieces, right? Like if we can get our arms around what he calls our 6 macro habits of health, we are going to have optimal health. We are going to definitely be able to enhance our ability to lose the weight and also keep it off. Right. So what are those things? Monica gave a really nice overview of those. That's weight management. We're talking about for us, those easy wins that we get initially that first couple of weeks with losing that weight, we're eating our fuelings, we're drinking our water, we're eating our lean and green meal, and we're losing. And then as we build confidence, we start to add to those things, right? And we also look at maintaining that health weight, that weight, transitioning, and then moving to optimization. Right. For healthy motion, it's about acquiring some activities and clever strategies that make body movement easy and fun. And then we also get into motion outside of sort of our planned activities, right? So there are ways to get healthy motion in that don't just mean going to the gym or going for a walk or doing a 5K, et cetera. And so we talk about those things. With healthy sleep and energy management, our focus is on not just understanding quality sleep and the impact that it has on our productivity, our overall health, our ability to think and process information, our relationships, but also our overarching well-being. And that includes the energy that we have and how we can optimize that energy. For healthy mind, Monica talked about this one. This was a huge one for all of us. The focus is on examining our choices, understanding our triggers, strategies for maintaining calm and resilience in the midst of the storm that is life, because life's really hard. And our focus is on instilling habits so that you don't have to rely on willpower. You've got some things that become automatic for you and ways that you automatically respond to triggers and automatically respond to things that come into your environment. And then healthy food and hydration focuses on instilling behaviors and patterns around eating and hydration, portion control, frequency, how often we're eating, and balancing a healthy diet. And then our healthy surroundings. We are who we hang around, right? So we need to understand the importance of controlling that environment, controlling the conditions that support long-term health, and creating real support systems that are not just there for the duration of the process that we lose weight, but that are around us to sustain that weight loss long-term, right? Okay, so great. These are the macro habits: management, motion, sleep and energy, healthy mind, food and hydration, and healthy surroundings. But what does that mean for me? Like, how does that play on a smaller scale, right? On like the practical scale. We're gonna go to the next slide. So, oh no, is it not showing up? It's not showing up. Okay, so I had this cute graphic that basically was a funnel, and it identified some core pieces. And actually, maybe I can share my screen, Monica.
Yeah, girl, I'm sorry. That one did not come through the matrix.
Nope, no problem. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet. I'm pretty good at that.
Monica, you'll have to stop sharing your screen so she can share hers.
And let me share my screen. And it would help if I had the document up. Give me 1 second, guys. So anyway, the focus of, oh, here we go. Now let me get to, woo. All right, here we go. Sharing my screen. All right, there we go. All right. So what does the macro habits mean in practice? So Dr. A understood that those sort of large sort of umbrella things are great. We all know we're supposed to drink water. We all know that we're supposed to watch our portion size. We all know that we're supposed to sleep 8 hours a day. But there's a total difference between knowing what you're supposed to do and actually doing it. And to that end, we have got to create some smaller sort of wins, some smaller, what we call primary and secondary habits. These are actions that reinforce our habits. And once we get good at doing those things, they become part of what we do on a day-to-day basis. So these micro habits, if we go back to that image that I painted for you of a jar with these large rocks being those 6 sort of macro habits, the smaller rocks within the jar are going to be the micro habits. They're the things that reinforce and help us to ensure that we are meeting these 6 macro habits. So I hope I did a good job, you guys, Mel and Don and Monica. But I'm going to turn it over to Monica to talk about the focus of today, which is the macros of nutrition. So we're going to talk a lot about nutrition today.
All righty. Thank you so much for that. You guys, wasn't that helpful? We first just wanted to start with your health is so much more than just what you're eating. Okay, because I will tell you that we have learned if you're not drinking enough water, you won't lose weight. We have learned if you're not managing stress, you won't lose weight. We have learned that if you're not sleeping well, you will not lose weight. So if the overall goal is to lose weight for some of us, and then you want to stay healthy at that new healthy weight, like this is the big picture. All right. So now we're going to talk about what you really care about. And here's this is that category or that area that gets a little bit wonky. So let me just make sure that we are back to my slides. Share screen. All right, guys, are you ready? So this is going to blow your mind. So let's start with macros as a whole when it comes to your nutrition. Okay, so what we just broke down for you is that macro means big. So when you're eating your food, you need to look at the big picture. Let me start with physiology. Did you know, and I'm not trying to be funny here, this literally changed my whole life, this visual. Did you know that your mouth, follow me, to your anus is one tract? Goes in your mouth, goes down your throat, goes down your aorta, goes into your stomach, gets absorbed, goes into your small intestines, goes into your large intestines, comes out your body. What goes in your mouth through that whole process is one tract. This is very important to understand because what you put in here, the whole point is so that it goes in here and the nutrients get extracted and then get absorbed into your body. So that's the process. So if you're eating chips, fried chicken, catfish, I'm telling you all my favorites, okay, 300-pound meat, chili cheese fries, whiskey, waffles, Those were breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me. If you gave me my choice before I understood what I was doing. When I ate for taste, when I ate for this piece here. If you eat simply to soothe this, I'm sorry, you're missing the boat. There's a bigger picture, because when it goes here, it's going to go in here and it's going to dissolve and the nutrients are going to be extracted. So the macronutrients that you need to worry about or you need to know are right here: protein, carbs, and fat. When I eat the chili cheese fries, how much protein, carbs, and fat come out of that? When I eat Doritos, how much protein, carbs, and fat come out of that? When I eat pizza, how much protein, carbs, and fat come out of that? Meaning come out of it, meaning how much is my body going to extract from what I just ate? Protein, carbs, and fat. Those are the macros. Have you guys ever seen somebody who meal preps? And they got like 7 containers of the exact same thing: chicken, broccoli, and some rice. All the time. You know why they do that? Because of the macros: chicken, broccoli, rice, protein, carbs, and fat. They measure them and they eat the exact same thing because the macros are correct for the type of response they're trying to get out of their body. So when we put you on our 5-in-1 plan and we tell you that this has sound nutrition, you guys don't have to meal prep. Not only that, you don't have to eat the same chicken and broccoli. You can have like cool little chips like this. Don't have to shop, don't have to prep, don't have to worry about it. And every single one of these has the perfect amount of protein, carbs, and fat for you. So we love this as an option. However, you do want to go out in the real world and be able to figure this out without a tool. So macros: protein, carbs, and fat. When you eat something, it gets absorbed and it turns into those 3 things, along with the micronutrients, which are right here along with this. So you see protein, carbs, fat, and sugar on the left here. Here's the micronutrients: polyunsaturated fat, cholesterol, the selenium, fiber, copper, biotin, saturated fat, polyunsaturated, like those are the micronutrients within that food. So when I eat chili cheese fries, how much protein, carbs, and fat came from that on the macro level, and how many micronutrients came from my chili cheese fries? Is there any copper in there? Is there any selenium in there? Is there any fiber in my chili cheese fries? Is there any calcium in my chili cheese fries? That is the micronutrients to that food. So my chili cheese fries go in my mouth, they get absorbed, and my body is going to extract the macros: protein, carbs, and fat, and the micros: selenium, biotin, niacin, calcium, the smaller nutrients. Does that make sense? The macro and the micro, the big and the small. The big picture: protein, carbs, and fat. Okay. So when you're on our program and when you're trying to achieve fat loss and when you're trying to figure out what macros should be, they go in ratios. The most common healthy set of ratios in macros is 40, 30, 30. Protein, carbs, and fat: 40, 30, 30. 40 protein, 30 carbs, 30 fat. That's just the most common. That is not the only way. And I would highly suggest you figure out what works best for you. But that's just a good, like, if you were going to start, first things first, you want to that would be a good beginning. So I wanted to show you this tool right here, this graph. How do you know what your macros are? Like, how do you figure that out? Well, you can go into your life book. This was page 294. And notice that not only is this categorized color coded, green to red. And so if you wanted just a beautiful chart to like, okay, I want to eat the leanest proteins, I want to stay away from things that are unhealthy for me, it's color coded. So turkey breast has the least amount of fat. Go down to a turkey hot dog, it's red. Red to me highlights like, wait, stop, check that out, take a look at that. 70% of your turkey hot dog is fat. Did you know that? I thought turkey hot dogs were healthy. The red indicates it's full of fat. It's not the healthiest one. Dark meat falls at 56% fat. Did you know that? Good to know. So a lot of times I see these charts and I remember specifically sausage, 80% fat. So old school me, when I was eating egg whites and sausage, because these are protein, and I wasn't losing any weight, it's because the macros were off. The sausage has 80% fat. I thought it was just protein. It's mostly fat. So when it goes into my body, yeah, it's a protein source, but it's mostly fat. Again, page 297, you can see these charts and it'll give you the percentages. Fun fact about buffalo meat. I didn't know this, but I've been doing research, you guys. Buffaloes, they're not allowed to feed buffalo anything other than grass. So buffalo is like the cleanest type of beef you can eat because they're not allowed to feed them corn or any of the stock feed that, say, a chicken might get. Just a fun fact. So here's some tips for yourself when you are going to be visualizing or when you're trying to keep your macros appropriate. 9-inch plate. The size of your plate will keep your portions within the right macros. Here's where I made a big mistake, you guys. I would get a big, huge plate full of salad, lettuce, and like I said, avocado, olives, chicken, olive oil dressing, maybe some almonds on top. It all was healthy stuff, but when it all accumulated and the amount that I was eating, it was way too much, way too many calories, way too many macros. Protein, carbs, and fat were all over. So like there's this idea that you could eat all the veggies that you wanted and only eat that. But vegetables break down into sugar. And so if you don't have the other elements within them, like healthy fat and protein, then things start to get wonky. So you just want to make sure that your meals are balanced. Okay. When you go to a restaurant, I want to just say there are plenty of apps out there that will help you keep track of what's going in your body. I like MyFitnessPal. Dr. A's Habits of Health is really helpful to figure out lean and greens so that you can figure out how much protein, carbs, and fat are in each one. And let's see, I think I had one more page for you. That's it. So the color coding on those charts, if you notice, it says red, to be avoided at all costs. And the green, best for ideal health and optimal weight. So there's like a big learning curve to go through in order to figure out what has the most protein, what is a healthy fat, all of that information. But I promise you, like once you've got it down, you'll be able to figure it out. And then the learning curve is done. Now you're just going to have to stick to it. And then the other facets come into play, like mindset, surroundings, your hydration. Those are the things that are going to help you stick to what you're actually eating. Does that make sense? So we have a few minutes left. Any questions? Or anybody who started tracking what you're eating, and has that helped you at all?
Regina has a question. She has her hand up. Go ahead and take yourself off mute, hun.
Yes, I like MyFitnessPal too, but I'm finding that I have a hard time getting to 1,100 calories every day without going over, my protein. I don't have enough carbohydrates in there, but I'm finding somewhere I'm going over on the protein.
There is a chart in your Optavia guide on page 17 that kind of lists what the parameters are for protein. And I believe it's somewhere in there. If you're like 5'4", a 5'4" female, the recommendation is about 100 to 110 grams per day
Of protein?
of protein.
Oh, okay.
What page is that, Monica, you're talking about on the guide?
Page 17.
Thank you.
And so I have found that some of these apps might be off, like maybe 15 or 20 grams, something like that. But you do have the parameters here in this chart.
Okay.
Does that help you?
Yes, because yes, I am ending up with about 110.
Well, then that's perfect.
Yeah, and so the app, yeah, like you said, the app is like the way that it calculates it. It should be for 1,100 calories, should be 83 grams. But yeah, I am ending up with 110.
Okay, so keep in mind, you guys, that we absolutely follow our Optavia program. All right, there's several reasons why we say the 110 grams. It's all in here. It explains to you the science behind the physiology, how that keeps your muscles healthy, how this keeps your bones healthy, how this keeps our hormones strong. Okay, I'm only suggesting that application simply for the scanning ability and being able to log and have some sort of idea, because what I have found is winging it does not work. I am suggesting, though, that you take the time to go through the guidelines that have been outlined here for you through our award-winning, science-based, medically backed program to understand the true numbers, okay? But how about this? Let's just say, Regina, you started tracking and started to see that in a day, like me, when I had chili cheese fries for breakfast, chicken strips for lunch, and nachos for dinner, when I scanned those things at the end of the day, I saw that I had 300 grams of fat, and then started to measure against what the program said. I was like, wow, I'm too, right? So then here's what you guys have to do, and I'm going to let you go because it's 5:30, but you're going to have mini funerals with things. For instance, Starbucks, how many of you have this guilty pleasure? I still,
Monica keeps freezing. So she's on point all night. It's a good
I
thing.
know, right when it gets good, right?
Yeah. Starbucks, you guys, has lots of hidden fats in there. You can look up the macros and stuff on your Starbucks, and just stick with some, coffee, iced coffee, maybe a sugar-free syrup. Count those if you're on program, depends on which program you're on. But definitely, stick to those. We do have more than the 5-in-1. There's the 4 2-in-1. There's the 3-in-3. So depending on what program you're on and the transition, just follow the step. And this is really about, the transition part is really about getting yourself to your goal weight and then finding that groove where you stop losing weight, but also stop gaining weight. And you'll start to figure that out. And the MyFitnessPal is a great place to kind of figure out those macros. And you'll be like, whoa, that's way too many carbs, that's way too much protein, because I'm going the other way now. And then if that's way too much fat, I'm going the other way now, right? Barbie, you want to say something?
Yeah, Monica had suggested the MyFitnessPal for me recently because I'm essentially not on program, but I do have my healthy fuelings in between. And I started using my MyFitnessPal as an awareness tool. So if I am out and about and let's say I'm on the road and I'm getting hungry, and in my great thought processes of healthy choices, I think, oh, let me go have this. I will plug it into MyFitnessPal. It will tell me what it's all about. I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not going down that road. So for me, I use it as an awareness tool. When it comes to following programs, stick to your healthy habits with us, stick to your lean and green, stick to your 5 fuelings, because that will bring you the best ultimate results. And we love our results and we love the progress. And that's what keeps you motivated from moving forward into that next area of success. So that's what I wanted to say. MyFitnessPal is a tool that you can use just to bring more awareness to your choices on a daily basis.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy. Monica says she's stuck outside. She can't get back in. So I'm going to wrap up the call for you guys. We really appreciate that you guys hop on. These are recorded and they are shared. If you're in Discovering Health, they're shared. They're also shared they'll be shared probably on Monica's page, probably on Dawn's page. Also, if you want to grab them, we'll also, I will put them on YouTube so you can go back and review this. But this is something that you're going to have to kind of learn. This is trial and error. Give yourself grace. And for these calls, we always have different topics. Please invite your friends and family. Please share this. It is live, because I mean, there's people out there, they're struggling. They don't know what to do. And this is a great tool. These calls will really help them to figure that out. So we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Again, thank you guys so much for coming to our Thursday weekend wins. I hope that we set you guys up for success for the weekend. Just keep rocking it, you guys. Stay connected to your coach, stay connected in your healthy habits curriculum, and stay connected in your community. You're not going this alone. We are better together. So thanks a lot, you guys. Have a good night. Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.